Hello, action takers. Today we are going to get into some moves for um, strength, really, functional strength movements that we're going to practice 12 movements and also talk quickly at the end about a way that you can optimize your movement to get the most benefits and keep your metabolism rolling and your circulation going for as much of the day as possible. So stick around to the end if you want to see that. We're going to do these 12 moves. The first time I'm going to go through just like standard version or the way that I'm currently doing them because some of the moves are modified for myself. The second time we'll go through them again with some extra explanation and modifications for if you need a beginner version. And then the third time we'll go through and we will just practice together and you can do whichever version works best for you. So feel free to observe the first and maybe even the second time if you need to, and then we'll go through the 12 moves one more time at the end. So let's get started. I have you vertical this time because I'll be kind of doing some up and down. We start with push-ups. So these are 12 moves to, even take 5 minutes doing them. You don't have to do a long workout with these moves, but you can if you want to. But you're going to see that I do just a few repetitions just to get that motion into my day every day. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So we start with push-ups, just 2 or 3. And then cobras. So you're pulling back. And then my modified version of burpee. Here, hop up, reach up, and then go into some hops or jumps. And then some strikes. So you're gonna squat down a little bit, strike. Front kicks and side kicks. Lunges. Squats. I'm gonna do half squats, just air. Again, I'm working on my own deeper squat. Feet forward, arms up, go as low as you can without causing pain. Let's see. Running in place. Pike push-up. Back down. Do leg raises. This is my modified leg raise that I do. And a plank. Okay, so let's go recap them and also help me make sure that I hit all 12. So there was push-up, cobra, burpee, strikes, kicks, lunges, squats, pike push-up, the plank, the leg raises. Oh, and I apparently missed 2. Oh, the running and the jumps. Those are the 12. So we went through the 12. It's been less than 5 minutes. Now let's go through them again with talking about some modifications. So you already saw that I do knee push-ups. Your hand positioning, you want your hands to be by your shoulders. You can let your elbows come out. We don't necessarily want our elbows wide because that's going to put more stress on the shoulders. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that your hands are under the shoulders and come low, right? We don't want to do push-ups where we're just like barely pulling it in. We want our shoulders up, like to round, not like this, but across here. Push through your hands. Try to put some pressure into the fingertips too, not just the heels of the hands. And then come down. Get that full range of motion and come back up. If you can only do one push-up, then that's one push-up that you did. Just gonna pull this toward me. Props from the last video around. Okay, so I have my bench here. Modifications. So we're talking about beginner modifications for these moves. So for the push-up modification, you can do it on a really stable table or chair, where you might be letting your body, now I'm on my toes. I know you guys can't see my feet. I'm on my toes and doing a push-up down, or I can be on my knees and do the push-up down on a higher surface. You could do a wall push-up. Wherever you're at, meet your body where you're at. You don't have to force it to do something it's not ready for. The cobras. So actual cobra. No, sorry, this is not the cobra. I can't even remember the name. I'm so sorry, guys. But that motion where we're doing like a pull, you can do it laying down, heels together, and bringing your arms back. That's the full motion. If that feels like too much in your back or your shoulders, you don't have to extend your arms all the way forward. You can have them here. Or you can do it standing or kneeling like I am, right? And just do kind of that pull down motion. Don't just swing them on down or like let them fall down. You want to come into it with control and engage those muscles as you pull down. So that would be the most modified, to do it standing or kneeling and just bring down like that. The burpee, I probably injured myself a couple years ago doing a much more intense program that included loads of burpees. So they're not my favorite, but the idea is getting up off of the floor with some energy. If right now where you're at is just, can I get up off the floor? If you can't get on the floor, then, this might be a moment to save for the future. But if you can get onto the floor, a true burpee is you're standing up. I'll do one true burpee for you guys. So you begin or end the burpee with a jump. You come down, jump your feet back, do a push-up, jump in and hop. That's a full true burpee. But like you saw, I do a modified one because that for me is a lot on my knees right now. It's a lot on everything. And if you can't do it with excellent form, you're probably causing yourself more harm than good if you try to go ahead and do it anyway. So, we can kneel down to the ground, calmly place, step our legs back, or, go to knees, then do the burpee. But in the flow that I did, since I was already on the ground to start with, right? So here I was just like lifting up from the burpee, and I do like a little mini hop onto my feet. Beginner would be just to step. You can even walk your hands back, come up, raise your arms overhead if you can't jump right now. Sorry, I was a little out of camera there. So that's the beginner burpee. Strikes are going to be, if you can't do strength, you can go slower. Just, we're practicing like reaching and pulling motions here. You can do those slower. You don't have to squat down while you strike. You can strike up if you want. Slower, calmer motions if that is where your body is at right now. Kicks, we, I can kick kind of to hip height right now. If you can kick higher, awesome. A beginner version is maybe you're just kicking down here. That's all kicking. Maybe your kick is just right there. Maybe it's just a leg lift right now. Meet your body where it's at. And eventually, as you keep going, you'll be able to kick more. Side kick, same deal. I can't go all the way to hip height. This is including both balance and, kicks are a balance move as well. We don't want to be like falling as we kick. So you might need something to stabilize you. You can hold onto a wall. You can hold onto a stable chair. And that way you do your side kick and do it low if that's what you need. Lunges. The most challenging lunge is the one that I did where you step forward and go low. Less challenging is to start from standing and step back and then just do what your knees can do what your body can do. Your knees and your muscles, right? So that might be your lunge right now. Lunges. And the squats, my squat was kind of a beginner squat. The next, or I guess an intermediate squat, a more beginner squat would be bringing a surface and increasing the height of that surface so that you can sit down onto it and then get up. Your might be a sit down get up. So I brought in the yoga blocks because if right now you have to like heave ho to get up from the height of your chair, bring the height of your chair up with yoga blocks or pillows or whatever you have on hand to bring the height of that chair up. You go down until you touch and come back. And then as you get more comfortable there, then lower. And then you can get or, use something from your house or a stack of something to do a bit lower until you feel the strength and the confidence to do an air squat and move from there. So we have the squats. Okay, the pike push-up. Again, so this is helping us get like if we need to lift a piece of luggage overhead, for example, that's the real life movement of doing that. You can use a chair or a little table, something sturdy, and do a similar motion. If you have your legs further back, you can angle more toward that and get some more engagement there. The leg raises, so my version, I'm going to push this back again, was already a kind of modified version. So, a true leg raise, you're going to lay down and have your legs extended straight. And with your legs straight, go all the way down, touch the heels, and come back. I don't know if you can see it, but my strength is not there right now. So my pelvis tilted forward and my back lifted off of the mat. We don't want that. We're putting stress and load not on the muscles and the joints that we're actually trying to strengthen with the leg lift, which is our lower abs, but on our lower back. And our lower back is not really meant to take so much repeated weight that way. So that's why my modification, what I'm doing right now, and putting the arms up overhead like I did on my second one, kind of engages some of the upper ab muscles. But having the legs at 90 and then tapping the heels down and bringing them up, right now I can handle that. Your legs might need to be at less than 90 degrees and just bring them down a little bit and back up. And it might just be a toe touch, right? Instead of a heel touch. That's okay. And the plank, let's talk about planks for a minute. So pretty much the same way that you can modify the push-ups, either by doing a knee, higher surface, wall, whatever works for you. I missed two when we were standing up, so I'm gonna stand back up here. So the running in place was one of them from the standing. You can walk in place, right? You can do like, okay, I'm gonna pretend I'm running, but like in slow motion, right? And then speed that up. If you are really with it, you can run super fast. And same with the jumping. If you have not been jumping, I recently saw this recommendation. I want to share it with you guys. If you're not used to jumping, then start with 10 jumps max in your day and see how you feel the next day. But the jumping, like I kind of do hops. I like to bring in that same strategy from the hops in a previous video of keeping the shoulders relaxed. I might have some go too high. I may be getting like max an inch of lift off of the mat. And again, and that's another point is when I do this on a mat, and these are like those thick mats like you get for kids, there's some extra cushioning there. If you're doing it on concrete, you're going to have more impact and you want to keep your motion smaller as your body gets used to that impact. So like maybe barely even lifting the heels still can count as your jumps. If you are accustomed to jumping and you're more athletic, or you feel up to it, you can do like a higher jump, like try to bring your knees up. But I don't recommend that if you haven't jumped in a really long time. So if you haven't jumped in a really long time, we can do a little bit of what so this is about where like just barely getting lift, probably like millimeters of lift off. Is if you feel like you're at a pretty good place, which is some of us, but you haven't jumped in a while. If you're just like, oh man, I am concerned about this movement, you can skip it. Again, none of these are obligatory. Or you could just do a little bit, like barely just getting like kind of like a bouncy motion through the body. So meet your body where it's at. Okay, so you can wrap up here. Hey, so sorry. I wanted to jump in here at this point where I'm letting you know that you can wrap up if you need to. There's going to be about 5 more minutes where we go through the routine one more time. But I realized after I finished recording that I forgot to mention the thing that I said if you stick around, I'll tell you something that you can do to keep your circulation going and help your metabolism. And it's one of the 12 moves. So it is squats. There is recent research, which I mentioned in a previous video, but I just want to remind you that 10 squats every 45 minutes can be really beneficial for your health. And it's this concept of movement snacks. So if you like the 10 squats, then those are great. They activate a lot of body parts. But just getting up and getting moving every 45 minutes rather than staying sedentary is going to have huge benefits. So you've been seeing the squats. I've talked about a couple options. Just to reiterate what I personally like to do most throughout the day because I want to strengthen. As you guys have seen, when I do like a body weight, I kind of like stop way before my chair, probably more neurological than anything else, trusting my body and my knees to hold me. But if I am planning to sit down, I can go lower, but I'm keeping the muscles activated. Like I'm not just plopping down and letting go. I'm activating muscles and keeping the muscles activated as low as I'm going to the chair and then coming back up. So try to incorporate that. You can put a little reminder alarm on your phone, or depending on your watch or whatever, like set reminders throughout your day to remind you, hey, get up and move. That'll keep your blood moving, keep your muscles active, and when your muscles are active, they drive your metabolism. So try that and incorporate that. And if you want to go through 12 moves with me, that'll continue in just a second. That's what you want, but I told you all we would go through this 3 times. So the third time you could do it with me according to your comfort level. Just gonna move this out of the way a little bit. And let's get started. So we're gonna go into push-ups. Some reach and pulls, we'll call them. And the modified was to do less, right? If you're doing the full, you're doing this. Into the burpee. Jump for the burpee. Some jumps. Run in place. As you can see, I don't do them in the same order every time. I have them written down for myself, but I don't have that note in my phone in front of me right now. So those are strikes. We can do our kicks. Side kicks. You can repeat the same side a couple of times. You don't have to necessarily alternate sides, whatever is work best for you. Lunges. Squats. Squat is not really deep right now. Working on it. This can be sit stand. Pike push up. Leg raises. And your plank. I like to end with the plank because then you can hold as long as you can. A couple notes for the plank if you're still with me. Trying to have your elbows turn forward. And that same way that we dropped our ribs in a previous video, getting that motion in the plank and engaging all the way through the shoulders. All right, y'all. I'm not going to have you hang out super long. Keep going in that plank if you can. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to choose health. It'll benefit you over time. Bye-bye.